Hi everyone, so welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new here. My name is Chloe. Today, as you can tell by the title and the part of my room we're at today, I am actually going to be doing my updated notebook collection. This shelf that I keep all of, I wouldn't say all of my notebooks on, but this shelf has the majority of my notebooks on, and this shelf is just the first shelf above my desk, so my camera is actually currently taller than me right now because I am literally just under 5 foot. Yeah, my camera is probably at 5 foot right now. Today, as you can tell by the title and everything, I am going to be sharing my new, I wouldn't say my new notebook collection. I'm basically just doing an updated version because I did one of these towards the beginning of the year, I want to say. I have new notebooks now. I have quite a lot of new notebooks. You know, I would just love to kind of talk about all of the different notebooks I have. But before I get into these notebooks here, I do actually have other notebooks that I keep elsewhere in my room, and I'm actually going to start with the one that I keep on my bedside cabinet. I can literally crawl under my tripod to get this. It's unreal. So this is the notebook that I actually keep on my bedside cabinet, and this is actually my journal. This is, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I don't think you can see it at all. It is a Moleskine notebook. I'm pretty sure it's almost full, and this is actually my personal journal. This was the first Moleskine notebook that I have ever owned, so I'm not going to open it because it's my personal journal. And then the next section of notebooks that I'm going to show are ones that I actually keep in my backpack. So the ones I take to college with me. One of which is completely irrelevant. It just helps keep my backpack straight. And it's just this A4 notebook which has a bunch of papers in. I think this is actually my English notebook from last year, but I no longer do English, so I don't need this, but I keep it in my bag anyway. Then the next is actually an academic diary from 2020 to 2021, but have I actually used it? No. But what has happened, I have somehow managed to bend the spine, spiral bound. I've somehow managed to bend a couple at the top here, so this is not filled in whatsoever. I don't use it, but it's always good to have one of these handy because you never know when you're going to need one. And then the last notebook that I actually take to college with me is this one, and this one is actually one that I purchased recently. This is one of the neon sheep ones, as you can see at the bottom here. I think this one was in the sale, so this was £2, and it's just a forest type thing, which says always take the scenic route, and then it's just hardcover with kind of spine. I don't know what it's called. I'm usually not a big fan of these. I'm actually getting on really well with it. The pages do kind of open quite nicely. You just have to kind of push them down. I quite like the fact that it's just a little bit wider than a normal A5 notebook because there's a bit more space to write in, and I actually use this one to take any notes in class that I may need to bring home with me, and I'm just finding this really handy because it's just super easy to use, and I do already have some notes in here. And then the actual notebooks I keep on my desk, which I'm not going to go into a great detail about. I just have these two. As you can see, this is my bullet journal, self-explanatory. This is kind of how I've been planning out my days and weeks but to be honest, I'm kind of getting out of this and it's starting to not work for me anymore, but I'm going to go into more detail with that in a different video. And then the next notebook is this one. This is one of those soft ones. I think this is actually the first soft one that I'm mentioning in this, and this just says do more of what makes you happy. I did have like another 7 of these previously. I don't know if they were in my other notebook collection video, but I actually kept this one because I use it actually for like the post-production phase of my videos. So this is where I make notes for things like timestamps and the audio that I use and everything like that, and just any other notes like links, cards and that kind of stuff. So that kind of stuff is all kept in here. That is how I stay organised with my videos. And then these are the last 2 notebooks that I keep at my desk. So but they aren't really notebooks that I really reach for, and so I've just got this one, which I actually kind of mainly use for things like shopping lists and just anything random really. Go on quite thin, as you can see, because I'm constantly tearing like pieces of paper out. I can't see this lasting much longer, but I do think it's actually a really pretty notebook. But it's definitely not like a standard size notebook. I can say the same for this one, but I don't actually use this, which I feel really bad for saying, and I've never actually used it, but I reckon I could probably get some use out of this at some point, just not at the moment. And then we move on to the notebooks we have actually at my shelf. As you can see to the very right here, we actually have some of my popper wallets that I love to use, and they're just the pink ones because they are the ones I use for Scarlet Blood Skies. And I then have my A4 notebooks that I keep on this shelf. This first one is one of those ones that has like 200 pages. It's one of those that is quite big in size. I think this one is actually like the definition of love notes, or what used to be the definition of love. And so there is like some stick stones and broken bones things in there. There was another project in here as well. It just has like book notes in mainly. Oh, and it's one of those like wide A4 notebooks as well. I then have a hard cover notebook, which is spiral bound. This one I think is actually, yeah, it's more like Scarlet Blood Skies notes, but this one focuses on things like the prequel and then the sequel as well, which I'm not writing anymore. This is the one, this is another soft cover one, stationery store one. You know, this is just one that I tend to rip the paper out of to just write things like book notes on, add like any ideas I get, and then so like, yeah, it's mainly, I think this is like the pages I do still have in here are Scarlet Blood Skies focused. So we then move on to the next one, which is this one. I feel like there's not really much to say, but this is actually like a Tesco notebook, and this one I believe I just keep like my video notes in. So if there are any videos that need planning, I will do it in this notebook. And then this last one is actually the one I got from my boyfriend's family for Christmas last year, so this would have been in my last notebook collection. This is just a pucker pad, I think it is, and I love this, and I use this for like goals, yearly, quarterly and monthly. I then have this weirdly shaped notebook, which is, yeah, it says it on the front, it's a things to do pad. For any like master lists that I need to write, I will actually write in here any like a long list of goals. And then this is actually my second neon sheet notebook. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. And this is just kind of like this gradient type thing, like with the turquoise green sort of colour. And then it just has holographic writing on it, which says Dreams and Schemes. And this is actually a blank notebook. I haven't actually started using this yet, and I don't know what like I'll use it for, but I will definitely, you know, find something to put in this. So I then have 2 more Moleskine notebooks. Oh, I also forgot to mention that my bullet journal is actually a Moleskine notebook as well. That's the one thing I forgot to mention. So I then just have 2 more. The navy one, I actually have things like save the cat notes in, which I can easily go through by just grabbing this. And then this one is actually plain. I don't know what I'm doing with the pink one yet. I then just have this one, which is actually like a tiger notebook, which I haven't used in a really long time, but I've used this in the past for things like to-do lists. I used to find this really nice for making to-do lists, but now I actually don't use it that much. Then just have this notebook, which I don't actually know what this one is for. It's just marble with this and that on the front, quite literally in gold, so I don't really have like a solid purpose for this one. This one, I've had this one for a while, and it just has a bunch of like Arden's theory notes, so it's one of my book ideas, which I just have things like just a bunch of notes for the book idea, and one day I would really like to, you know, get back into this idea, because it was one of those which started out as like a pantsing book, so I didn't plan it or anything, and it was actually, you know, before I even discovered the AuthorTube community. And then this notebook here is, I've had this for years. You can see what it looks like. This one is kind of blank again, but I just started making like stick stones and broken bones notes in this one. And then the next notebook is a new one, fairly new anyway, and I got this one from Home Bargains, and it was like $1.49 or something like that. In here, it's just like another college notebook, but this is the one for notes here, like the notes that I make out of class, they go in here. So I've got things like notes for shows that I've watched in my own time. And then I believe this next one also doesn't really have a purpose. I started like making video notes, yeah, or like, actually no, I think this was like a blog post idea, which I don't really do anymore, and then just a bunch of other notes. So this one doesn't actually have like a solid purpose either. And then the next two notebooks are ones that I believe I actually got from the works. I think I got these when they were in a sale, so I just have this one. She believed she could, so she did. I don't really know what this one is, to be fair. One of those that's like another non-purpose one. And then Good Things Come to Those Who Work is another like non-purpose one, and like present ideas, I think mainly birthdays and Christmas and whatnot. So I'll probably crack this one out soon to start making notes for that, because that time of year is starting to approach again. The next notebook I have is this one, and this one is actually quite thick. This one is actually the notebook where I started planning out my Powers trilogy. It's kind of like this, a sci-fi dystopian idea, which, you know, I'd love to get to at some point, but it might be one of those projects which I decide to shelve. It honestly just depends, but that is what that notebook is for. The next notebook is this one, so it's just plain black. This was actually, like, the paper in here is really thin. It just has a bunch of random notes, but I did originally start by food tracking in this one, but I don't really use it anymore, so it might be something I get rid of. These two are also existing story ideas. This notebook here actually has my earthquake novella idea in, which probably won't end up being a novella. I would love to get back to this one day. I have a feeling I probably said that in like my last collection video. I think this was actually from Tiger, yeah, because of this. It's a Tiger notebook. This is a non-purpose one. I thought it was like a pre-existing book idea, but no, it's not. This one, however, we have seen this one before, because this one is actually old. The definition of love notes, and there is, oh my god, there's notes for my other like musical project. I forgot about this. And then there's Scarlet Blood Skies as well. There's just like, this one is full of book notes that I even forgot I had. And then the next two notebooks look like this. So this mountains one, I believe, is, yeah, this is like mental health notes of like different things. So yeah, this is just basically like, I guess, notes on like human body and things like that. So then this next one, I think, oh my god, so this one I think is another, like, it doesn't really have a solid purpose. but it just has like a bunch of notes. Scarlet Blood Skies, I want to say. Yeah, Scarlet Blood Skies notes. And then this one is actually where I like, it's mainly just like music stuff. So this is where I made notes last year on my last like academic college course, and this also just has like lyrics in as well. So this is like song lyrics and music notes and everything like that. And then the last two notebooks, which I'm not going to pull out at once, but I don't really know what this one is. I think this one is just mainly like just another like random one, multi-purpose notebook this one is. And then this last one, but this one is really thick. I actually got this for Christmas from my nan, which I love the design of this. I love that it's spiral bound as well, and I just have a load of notes in here because I wanted to, this is just basically like a screenplay idea that I want to maybe write in the future. I have now shared all of my notebooks and what I use them for, and if any of them are blank, which I feel like a lot of them are blank or like have multiple different purposes. They are all of my notebooks. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let's not get in shot, but can you see that this camera is like taller than me? You can, can't you? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button. If you would like more content like this, then make sure you are subscribed down below, and if you wish to be notified every single time I upload, hit that bell as well. All of my social media links will also be down in the description if you to check out. Instagram is the main one I use. I don't use Snapchat or Twitter or anything like that. That will be linked down below in the description for you to check out if you so wish to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.